Hey everyone, how's it going? Joe by himself back here. Mike could not make today's episode, so I will be covering both the NBA and the NHL in one video today, just like I did when we started this old tradition. Um, so let's get into it. Only three games to cover. We love to see it going down. And it goes down even more with the Bucks and Pacers game. The Bucks, I'm sorry. The Bucks got out to an early lead in this one, 10-3, looked kind of promising. Halliburton hit a three. I'm pretty sure Lillard answered that three, and then an 8-1 run for the Pacers. And then the Bucks did their thing, kind of stayed in the game. Then a 24-6 or some BS run for the Pacers. I forget the exact number. But the Pacers were all over the Bucks in this first quarter or this first half. I'm pretty sure the Bucks found themselves only with a 10-point deficit when it was all said and done, which is honestly lucky to be there after the way this first half went. The Pacers maintained that 10-point lead. The Halliburton shots are few but good. He was making some great shots from great angles. They were clearly highly defending Halliburton. Siakam has obviously been pretty dang quiet lately, so they were trying to focus on probably containing Halliburton. He hasn't been putting up insane numbers, however, um, overall, like in terms of assists and points, Halliburton has definitely been their best player over the last few games. So they have kind of been able to shift off of Siakam and focus more on him, which is great for the Bucks. What is also great for the Bucks is that Damian Lillard returned this game. He was hitting all kinds of deep shots. Portis and Lopez were very reliable to get rebounds and put them in, even charging the paint. Both of those guys. Lopez has been fantastic the last few games. Portis the last couple has been great. So all three of those guys came together this game. Unfortunately, they were pretty much the only guys who showed up. I'm not sure how many points Middleton had, but clearly not enough for me to note it here. Um, but yeah, so the Bucks do end up cutting the lead down to single digits around the middle of the third. It looked like they were going to make a kind of run there, but then McConnell and Toppin off the bench for the Pacers, they ended up with the most points of the night off the bench. Toppin with 21, McConnell for 20. Halliburton had 10 assists and 17 points. Six players in double digits. That's just hard to handle if you're a Bucks fan or a Bucks player because like I said, Siakam isn't doing much of anything in terms of what he's capable of. So you think you can handle just Halliburton and you're able to kind of handle Halliburton, but then everyone else comes from everywhere. You got to play some tightly knit defense. And you got guys like Beasley and Beverly and Lopez who can probably handle a lot of that pressure and Portis as well. But I mean, it was just overwhelming for the Pacers. They shot 54 from field to the Bucks 42 from the field, and the Bucks didn't help themselves by only getting 65% at the free throw line. I think they had like 32 chances, only hit like 21 or something pretty bad. Um, Players who did show up for the Bucks, like I said, Lillard had 28, Portis and Lopez had 20. Portis also had 15 rebounds, so another double double for Bobby Portis Jr. But yeah, this one was pretty over by the time that the fourth started, pretty unwatchable. There was always the chance, so I did keep it on. It wasn't like a blowout like the Celtics and the Heat, but it didn't look good for the Bucks going into the fourth, and nothing really changed. Like I said, the Pacers bench was going off. I'm pretty sure the Bucks bench had 1 point halfway through the third quarter. So the it was a lot of depth in terms of who won this game because like I said, the top players for the Bucks were canceled out by the damn bench for the Pacers. Um and the starters for the Pacers outscored the Bucks bench. It was weird. It was a weird dynamic of the game in terms of Toppin and McConnell being the best players. But yep, the Pacers will advance to play the Knicks, another deep team. That will be very interesting. Good matchup. Um, I think the Knicks will probably take it because they're a lot deeper, in my opinion. This is the first game we've seen McConnell and Toppin play like this. I think Toppin's had some pretty alright games so far. McConnell kind of been invisible, but like I said, bench. That's not to be an insulter. Say he's not doing his job. He just really showed up tonight or last night, whenever the hell it was. Um, and yeah, I think the Knicks will be able to take care of them in a reasonable amount of time, maybe five game, 5-6. But that's not for now. What's for now is let's talk about the Bucks' future. They're losing some key pieces in Beasley and Beverly. I I would see about re-signing at least one of those guys. I know the NBA doesn't typically work like that. Those guys are both probably going to move on, especially with how Patrick Beverly's been going around the league lately. But yeah, and Jay Crowder, I didn't see him this series. I'm not sure if he's just older now or if he's been injured. I think he's got to have been injured, right? I mean, we got to Danilo Gallinari on the bench. I mean, the whole roster was injured, so I can only imagine that Crowder was part of that, or else he'd be out there in terms of the depth that they needed. And if so, Crowder, I think he's probably gone. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I mean, he's got a man on the inside, so we'll see. Not that big of a deal either way, though. For Thanos, it's just kind of I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, to be honest. It's just that fact that you know, let's keep Giannis happy. Giannis. I don't think he moves on after this. I don't. Obviously, it was out of their hands who was healthy and who wasn't going into a lot of these games. Even the games that players like Lillard and Middleton played, they weren't 100%. And obviously, Giannis was sitting to avoid a bigger injury. So I think it was out of their hands at that point. So I think they need to. I think they could run it back with Dame and Giannis and probably get more success. Obviously, they got to the third seed, which is great. Giannis had that um upsetting non-contact injury against the Celtics. He didn't really do much of anything. He was just walking up the court. You hate to see it. Real ugly. But that's all she wrote for the Bucks this year. I think they should run it back with those two guys next year. Resign either Beasley or Beverly. Let the others walk. And yeah, not really much I can say there. I think whoever they let go, I think they need to sign them. I don't know. Their defense is fine. I don't know what they need in the obviously. Maybe another big or just defensive playmaker. I don't know, Ben Simmons. But yep. Let's get into the other matchup of the night. The Knicks. Speaking of Ben Simmons, the Sixers and the Knicks. The Knicks got out to an early 17-4 lead. Um, Not looking good for the Sixers right off the get-go. DiVincenzo was going off from the three line. Oubre and Embiid had some big blocks at the end of the in the late first quarter. I think the lead ended up being only 14 points. If I recall, it was 36-22. Um, so obviously, not ideal for the Sixers, but could have been a lot worse given that it started 7-0 and then 17-4. So they did stick with it after it ended up being 17-4. The Sixers have a huge run to um to actually take the lead by the end of the second. I think they had a 5 point lead, and then someone cut it down to three or two. Um, but and they did that pretty much without Maxey being a factor. He only had 2 points in the first half. There was a lot of Embiid, a lot of Oubre doing well, a lot of Buddy Hield. He's been kind of invisible since that play-in game. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking Batum. Batum has been invisible since the play-in game. He was helping a bit. Buddy Hield also helped. He's been invisible the whole postseason. Um, but yeah, I think Oubre was one of their best. This was probably Oubre's best game. He was really good on the defensive end of things, getting steals, blocks, just being a presence. The Pacers were able to withstand that, and they got. I'm sorry. The Knicks were able to withstand that, and they got into a tie game entering the fourth. And another stellar showing from Jalen Brunson. All throughout the game, he got 40 plus again. I think he set like some record or tied a record of 35 plus points in three consecutive postseason games. I should have looked a little more into that, but this is the third straight 35 plus game for Brunson, so he's been feeling it lately. Maxey plays well in the third as well. I'm sorry, the fourth as well. He gets a few calls going his way. We'll discuss those in specific shortly. Um, I think DiVincenzo is probably the most underrated in the fourth quarter. He was making some really smart plays to not shoot the ball, to get it to Brunson, because he knew Brunson was feeling hot. There were a couple times when DiVincenzo shot it, but I think those scenarios called for that. So good work from DiVincenzo. No wonder they've got this far. They've got high IQ players. Um, and wow. So there was one point where the Knicks were really starting to feel themselves and take a lead, and Anunoby gets this crazy ass dunk to extend the lead to almost 10, maybe like 2 minutes left. And Maxey takes it the other way and gets some falling layup. I forget if he had an and one on it. It was it was stellar. It looked like some Kyrie crap. And then after that, Harris shoots a three. Obviously, he misses because it's Tobias Harris. And Kelly Oubre gets the dunk to cut it to 1 point. Um, and then I'm pretty sure they tied it. Okay, so then if I recall, the Knicks got up. I didn't have it here for whatever reason. Oh, I think it's after this. It's after this. Okay, so then Oubre takes two quick fouls. Um, One of them they had one to give, and then the other one was a shooting foul while Brunson was shooting it from around where the free throw line is, and he gets the and one. Brunson again misses the and one. Brunson not that good from the free throw line. This this postseason so far. Definitely his weakness. And then Maxi brings it back up, and he gets blocked by shit. Who the hell was it? DiVincenzo and someone else. Um, Maybe Anunoby. And I think it was Anunoby, and they called the goaltending on it and +1 for the foul. So they're able to tie it up at 111. And then Josh Hart wide open for three, 114, 111, and that's pretty much where it ended. The fouling begins, and they just didn't really get on top of it. Another bench fiasco, but this time surprisingly for the Knicks. The Knicks only had 5 total points off the bench, and all their starters outscored that by at least 9 points. That's crazy. The fact they still won the game doing that. While, like I said, the Sixers bench with Buddy Hield and who else did I mention there? Um, Crap, who else other than Batum. Batum had 16. Hield had 20. So the Sixers bench played extraordinarily well. Couldn't come away with it. Embiid was 13 and 39. I didn't realize Embiid had 39. Jesus, like I said, he free throw merchant. I don't know, but Maxi did only end up with 16. Brunson, 41. DiVincenzo, 23. Hart was 14 rebounds and 16 points. And Anunoby, 19 points, 5 total from bench. Yes. Yep, a cumulative effort from from the Sixers was outmatched by basically Brunson and DiVincenzo and a little help here and there from Josh Hart. So the Knicks advance. They play the Pacers. We've already gone over that. What is next for the Sixers team? You tell me, man. I would have a quicker time listing the players that aren't going to be free agents because there's only two of them. It's it's Embiid and someone else. I forget who the hell it is. I really should have written it down. Let me see. It's not Maxey. Maxey's a free agent. What the hell? How did I not write this crap down? Paul Reed. So it leaves Tobias Harris, Buddy Hield, Nick Batum, Robert Covington, D'Anthony Melton, Tyrese Maxey, Cameron Payne, Kelly Oubre, Mo Bamba, KJ Martin, Kyle Lowry. They're all free agents. I didn't even see Lowry this game. Did he even play? I don't even know. Um, but let's see. What do I think is going to happen to all these guys? I see a couple of retirements in here, including Kyle Lowry. Um, Maybe Batum. He's up there in age. Covington will probably sign a short deal somewhere. Tobias Harris, you're going to China. Buddy Hield, you might also be going to China. Um, Tyrese Maxey, you got to resign Maxey. I think that goes without saying. He is the future if Embiid is well, yeah, he's 7 years younger than Embiid. So yeah, he and Embiid are the future clearly, or Embiid is the now. Maxey is the future. Because I don't want to dismiss Embiid by saying that Maxey is the future. Obviously, they have some glory years with Embiid left, but clearly Maxey can double up on that. Cameron Payne, get rid of him. Kelly Oubre, you could make a case to resign Oubre. I personally don't think they will. I think the only the three players that'll be back from this team to next year are Embiid, Reed, and Maxey, which is blows me away. By the way, I did not realize that they were this close to losing all their players. Like I didn't realize all their contracts were running out. So what should they do? I don't know. This is a really bad day for Mike not to come on the podcast because like I don't know the NBA well enough to figure out a whole team retooling like this. I've never seen this in hockey. It's not like everyone's contract expires on the same day other than your one superstar and some bum. Like I don't know what you want me to tell you. The Sixers are going to be an extremely different looking team next year and I don't think there's any denying that. It's kind of crazy. But that aside, let's get into hockey. I'll make it short and sweet, honestly, because there's not too much to talk about. The first thing I'll do is give the compliments to the Leafs so I don't throw up. Um, or to not throw up. That Nylander goal was sick. Both of them actually were really good. He was really deking. I forget who it was at the blue line before taking that shot. I call bull. I'll say it that they didn't call the boarding on low ride. That's not biased, by the way. I think everyone and their mother was calling bull on that. I just seem to be more affected by it being a Bruins fan. That was boarding. I was extremely shocked when low ride was okay to come back in the third. But obviously late in the game, we only got one power play the whole game, one last game. Don't know why they didn't call that. Not blaming the refs for that loss though. It's hard to win a game when you can't get any shots on net in the first period. Only one shot. We did have 13 attempts, but yeah, and then we started playing with a high offensive mindset, which led to that William Nylander breakaway. And obviously, had he not scored both those goals, had one of them not been scored, we could have would have tied it with that geeky goal with 0.1 second left. Could you imagine the choke job from Toronto if that happened? But other than that, Joseph Wall is scary, dude. This guy is really feeling himself right now. It is the same exact situation with the Bruins from last year. They can get it done against who the hell was in net for them? Alex Lyon. They can't get it done against Bobrovsky. Well, they could. They could. They got 5 goals in Game 6. But they're having a lot of trouble with Wall. He's standing on his head. So I think they looked better than they did in Game 5, which is I don't think it was much better. I think they looked a lot more offensively minded. They were really trying to put shots on net. Whether or not they made it there is another story. The blocks were crazy from Toronto. I think I think I saw someone with 4. Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry. I do have to look at stats. I forgot. I don't really look into the games when it's a Bruins game just because I watch it closely, so I don't really feel the need to do any of that crap. Pasta had 4 shots. Pasta looked. He looked better, right? I mean, I'm not saying much. DeBrusque had 6. Oh, wow. All right, let's see this. This was a physical showing from the Bruins. No shit. No. Wow. Yep. I could tell you that McAvoy was double-digit hits. 11 hits for McAvoy, 6 DeBrusque, 6 Marchand, 7 Brazeau, 5 from Frederick and Zaka, 9 from Coyle. Oh, so Coyle does know how to do something. Zaka was 10% in the face-off circle. Oh my God. Coyle and Zaka, what are you guys doing? They've been horrible. I figured that this would be their game because these are guys who have potential to wake up, and they just have refused to. I figured they wouldn't refuse so in a game like this, seeing what happened last year. But what are you gonna do, right? Um, 5 shots again from Nylander. Last game he had 8. 5 blocks from Morgan Riley, 4 from Benoit, and 4 from Domi. So, like I said, shot blocking was definitely a strong suit for Toronto. 7 hits from Tavares, 6 from Noah Gregor, 9 from Benoit. Only 3 players did not have a hit, being Yarncroc, Marner, and surprisingly, Max Domi did not have a hit. All of their faceoff players are in the upper echelon. The lowest is Nylander with 50, and I'm pretty sure he just stepped in to help someone. So in terms of centers, the lowest was 65 for them being Tavares. So faceoffs again an issue. I think we look better. I think the Garden is going to be bumping for Game 7. Do I think we're going to win? I don't know. It is one of these teams is going to do it again. They're going to do it again. They're going to either blow a 3-1 lead or the Leafs are going to lose to the Bruins in 7. So if you're outside of a Boston or Toronto sports fan, you're probably like, but like we over here, I feel for you, Toronto fans. I do. I do because I'm in the same friggin' boat now. We are one of the same. I understand why you guys are still fan. I have had my differences with the Toronto Maple Leafs fans, and I have had my questions as to why are you still a fan. Um, Now I see because I am in the same exact boat you guys are in. I take back those comments. However, I still hate you guys, and I really hope the Bruins pull it out. Obviously, um, but I will be an active Florida Panther avid fan, painting my face red and white. Are the Leafs too advanced? And that is all she wrote on this episode, I would say. Join me tomorrow. Who is playing tonight? I think we got the Stars and the Knights. And is that it? Oh, I'm sorry. The Canucks and the Predators as well. And then the Magic Cavs, right? Right? Are they playing tonight? Um, Magic Cavs at 7. Um, we could potentially figure out who the Celtics are facing. Oh, and the Clippers and Mavericks. Cool. The first round could end tonight for the NBA. That'd be interesting. But yeah, we'll see if any. We'll see if the Knights or the Predators can force Game 7, and I guess we will see the same about the Clippers and the Magic. But yeah, that is all for today. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.